So, welcome to another crypto update. And after a few stagnant weeks in the market, a lot of unprecedented price action in equities, as well as some really high correlation between equities and crypto, we're finally starting to see some really unique trends building in crypto. So, we have some really exciting potential news for you guys today, something we're watching really closely. But before we dive into that, let's start by looking at everybody's favorite asset. So, Bitcoin managed, even throughout all of those little slumps, to stay well outside of this macro symmetrical triangle. And if we take a little bit of a closer look, we can see that this parallel channel, so these two purple lines, particularly the top purple line, which is the top of the parallel channel, has really been acting as quite a good support for Bitcoin. Even though we can see wicking came through to the top of the symmetrical triangle, the bodies more or less really stayed within or outside, sorry, rather, of this parallel channel. So Bitcoin respecting its macro structures throughout all of this is quite a positive sign for price action. And jumping back into the daily, we can see that after a brief period, Bitcoin looks to have, after breaking out of this flagging structure, we seem to have broken back in and are currently retesting the bottom of this flagging structure as a support, right? We can see the wick testing there, and the body is clearly inside between these two blue lines, which is our flag. So another interesting thing to note here on the daily is we are above our 21 period moving average, which means this is still a bullish trend. And provided we can close the daily today at above the 21-day moving average, which coincides with the bottom of this flag perfectly, we should see some nice upside, and that should give us the momentum that we need to break this 9.3 level, which you can see has been acting as a significant level of support. We've had multiple tests with the wicks here, and not once have we been able to break through that 9.3 level. So a daily close above 92.50, above the 21-day moving average, and the bottom of this channel should give us the strength we need to clear that 9.3 level. RSI isn't skewed towards the bulls or the bears, so in this case that's quite good. And another thing we see is that over the past few weeks, the selling volume has just been significantly declining, right? We can see from this beginning of May sell-off, this was this massive sell-off we saw, and we can see there's a lot of selling volume coinciding with that. But as we progressed, we see that the highs of those selling volume has steadily been decreasing. And what that generally indicates to us is a loss by the bears of selling pressure. And once that selling pressure dies, you usually see quite an exponential move to the upside. So if we combine that logic with the fact that we've held our macro structures quite well, we seem to have broken back into our flagging structure, and we're still above the 21-day exponential moving average, it gives us the confidence in Bitcoin's ability to break above that key 9.3 level in the near future. So we'll be looking for a daily close above this 92.50 level, and then we may possibly jump into a trade looking for this 9.7 level, which we feel Bitcoin would head to next. So that is obviously not the exciting news that we were talking about. So first things first, looking across the board, we can see that altcoins are really outperforming our top market cap. So Bitcoin, Ethereum, Ripple, Litecoin, all of them are down over 1%, barring Bitcoin, right? But BNB, Tezos, Cardano, these are all up 7, 5, 2%. So we're seeing our mid caps show some real strength. Zilliqa here at 8.2%. Link USD has recently broken all-time highs. Stellar Lumen, so Kyber Network is another one that's had an amazing run as of late. So you'll notice that these are a lot of coins that we don't generally talk about. And to get you guys more trading opportunities, we've actually started expanding our offering and our charting. So you will be getting a lot more trades. Keep an eye out for those. All of the assets, or 95% of the assets we trade, will be available in Binance Futures. But we will let you know if it's a particular spot trade, for example. So, without any further ado, let's actually get into the news that we came here for. So, for those of you who've been following us for a while, this is the altcoin market cap. So, the entire market cap excluding Bitcoin. And we can see since pretty much April of 2019, we've been trading in this parallel channel, right? And what's really exciting is one, we're seeing currently a retest of the top of that channel. And although we need to be careful of wicking, this is a potential breakout on the cusp. And breaking out from here would see the altcoin market cap shoot to well above 100 billion almost immediately, we feel. In fact, towards the 110 mark, which would mark some significant appreciation for altcoins across the board. And again, what can we see? We can see a real dying off of selling pressure, which really sort of adds to the case of this breakout being a legitimate one. Add to that we have two significant levels of support and our moving averages on the weekly to the underside. And we can see that these volume bars are really high levels of volume at these particular levels, which means it's very unlikely that altcoin market cap just flows straight through here. So we can see a lot of underside strength that really is going to be able to push altcoin market cap out of this macro structure. And we can see it's been in this macro structure for over a year. So we are going to be closely watching that because it is one of the indicators that let us know exactly when we are in an altcoin cycle. Speaking of that, you'll know another indicator that we closely watch is the Ethereum Bitcoin pair, because Ethereum really acts as a proxy for the altcoin market. Let me close that so you guys can just see it a little bit better. And as you guys can see, Ethereum Bitcoin, the pair, has been in this downtrend from April of 2017. So this is a significant resistance level for the Ethereum Bitcoin pair, and by extension, like we explained, all of altcoins. But what can we see if we take a little bit of a zoomed in look? As soon as those disappear, is that this is the weekly time frame, so these can't be construed as fake outs. We can see that we broke out, had a little bit of a retest, and now we're actually being held up by the 50 weekly exponential moving average after a confirmed breakout of this downtrend. So there is the potential for a significant upside here, not just on Ethereum, but on altcoins in total. And we are closely watching that. But we need to see Bitcoin clear and successfully confirm that it's broken back above the 9.3 level and turned it into a level of support. And we can see just on the tiniest movement of a confirmed breakout here, it's a 26% unleveraged move, which would be a 260% move at 10x leverage. So it's not just those two indicators that have been doing something odd as of late. So you guys will know the final indicator that we use, which is generally a leading indicator for us, is the Dogecoin Bitcoin pair. There really is no fundamental backing to this indicator. But what you will notice is backtesting it, and we have actually done this here on the channel, is when we see the Dogecoin Bitcoin pair break out from this level and confirm it as a level of support, we see exponential upside, right? And I can prove that to you historically. So here is 2014, long before even I got into crypto. And every time we've tested this level as a support, we've seen an exponential breakout. And go and take a look at this pair and these time periods. So, for example, 18th of August 2014 to 29th of September 2014, and you'll see these all coincide with significant altcoin appreciations. And what we've been seeing lately, and by that I mean the past few months, is the Dogecoin Bitcoin pair building inside a very nice ascending triangle. And unfortunately, we had the COVID sell off, and that saw a breakout. And in fact, we saw this turn into a resistance, as we can see here. But it looks like we've broken back only this week, and in fact, in the last 2 days, to retest the top of this level. So we can see the wick actually went all the way to this key level. And what we are looking for in the near future is a breakout above this level and then a successful retest. And that will be the final confirmation that we need that it is the beginning of a new altcoin season. And when we talk about altcoin seasons, it could be anything from a week or a few week run up of altcoins of up to 100-200%, or it could be an extended quarter of exponential altcoin appreciation. But it is definitely a period in which altcoins do experience significant gains, and we are definitely preparing ourselves for that. So, as we mentioned, we've started charting a little bit lower down into the mid caps, into a few interesting coins, even a few of our users had requested. So we closed a nice trade on XTZ at 108% at 10x leverage. Our Litecoin trade at 25% at 10x leverage. And we are seeing a few interesting trades that we would like to jump in. So one of my personal favorite tokens is the Basic Attention token. And we can see that towards the end of May this year, we had a successful breakout from the 200 daily exponential moving average level, which was a long-term gauge of investor sentiment. So after a breakout successful retest, we have continued trading within this parallel channel. But what you guys can also see, if we just break out into the weekly, is we are right at the top of this macro downtrend line, which again has been prevalent since January of 2018. So breaking above this and confirming it as a support would again lead to some exponential upside for BATUSD. Similarly, Zilliqa has seen an amazing run over the past few weeks, and we're seeing Zilliqa trade in this sort of megaphone pattern or a parallel channel, depending on how strict you want to be. And then within this macro structure, which price has been ascending since March of this year, we can see that there is also an uptrend line that is also acting as a significant level of support for price. So what we previously saw, so this was as early as last evening, was price building into the apex of this symmetrical triangle structure within our macro structures. And we've now seen a successful breakout. So keep an eye on the group, because we will be looking to enter Zilliqa on the retest of the top of the symmetrical triangle and be looking to ride that trade out to at least the 0.02147 level. So keep an eye out for that trade. We've already seen the breakout we're looking for. We will be entering on the retest of the top of the symmetrical triangle. So keep an eye out for that trade. So again, a lot of you know that Link has made all-time highs amidst Bitcoin trading sideways and even downwards, and altcoins being quite volatile. Chainlink USD has broken out of this macro flagging structure, but also above its previous all-time highs. So the price of Chainlink USD currently is higher than it has ever been. And this is unprecedented for a token or a coin with such a large market cap. So what we are going to be looking for from a technical perspective is, okay, well, let's note a few things first. So first, what we've been trading in the parallel channel structure, but note that this channel, or the megaphone structure, will actually be the dominant structure because price has abided by it for longer. So although we are expecting a rejection from the top of this parallel channel, we think a very good entry is going to be the top of this parallel channel, or the megaphone structure. And we aren't going to jump straight into this trade. And the reason being is that the same logic that led us to believe the bears, sorry, were losing steam, and the volume indicators leads us to believe that we can see throughout this trading period from April to where we are currently, the buy volumes have consistently been declining, right? The sell volumes have been relatively stable from about the end of April, but the buy volumes are clearly declining. And although, if we couple that with the fact that we're currently massively oversold on the daily with an RSI of 76, and that price hasn't really had any time to pull back into a known price period, we feel that it is potentially more likely that price pulls back to this 472 level that coincides with the 21-day exponential moving average and a significant support level, which is the previous all-time highs. So we won't jump straight into that trade. Keep an eye out for that trade, and we will update you with respect to Link USD. Now let us take a look at Stellar Lumens. So Stellar Lumens is also something that, or a personal favorite of ours in terms of just the actual use cases, functionality, teams, etc. And we are seeing a little bit of a bearish pattern play out here, where on the daily, the 21-day moving average is actually crossing below the 50. And below both of those, not far behind here, is the 200 daily exponential moving average. So we aren't too sure of where price wants to go here, and we will be monitoring it, but we do see a significant level of support here at the 0.6892 level. So we will be looking to potentially enter if price sees they pull back here on Stellar Lumens. So one thing that is of massive interest to us, and sorry about the disparate data, is Kyber Network, which has been exponentially bullish as of late. So it's currently seeing a little bit of resistance being faced at this overbought RSI level of 70. And we see that every time price has veered towards this level, it doesn't really have a significant breakout. It faces some resistance here, and then we see that result in a pullback in price. So we can see that here, it faced a little bit of resistance, and then price pulled back. So we are looking for that potential situation to play out. And Kyber Network, like we said, is one of those mid-cap gems that we think really has a lot of room to run. And in terms of our normal tokens, we've just had a great trade on Tezos. And Cardano is an absolute gem at the moment, but we just have not had the opportunity to enter at a good point. So as you can see at the moment, if you look towards the bottom of the screen, the RSI is currently tending towards 76, almost 80. Tending towards 80, which means it's massively overbought. We haven't seen any sort of significant pullback, which would be a cooling off of price. And we can see that volume is very thin here. So a move in either direction with very little volume would be very possible. So what we are looking for is to potentially enter at the 21 exponential moving average, or in fact this trend line, which would coincide with the symmetrical triangle we saw it respecting quite well. And because it is the daily time frame, that is a macro time frame. So again, although Cardano has been producing some amazing price performance, it just isn't prudent to enter, to jump in front of a steaming train, so to speak. That train needs to cool off and give it some gas to be able to move again. So jumping in at any moment here would mean that at any moment price could then crash. So We are very, very closely watching Cardano, but we are looking for a better entry opportunity. However, if Bitcoin does break and confirm 9.3, we will look to enter at a higher level. So, when it comes to the market, Dogecoin, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Bitcoin, and the altcoin market cap are all telling us that there is a potential altcoin season on the horizon. Whether that occurs over the next few days, the next few weeks, or potentially the next 1 or 2 months, only the charts will tell us. But we can see that all three of our indicators are really flashing green at an altcoin season. And if we look at these mid-cap performance that are really decoupling from our top cap performers, so your Ethereums, your Bitcoins, your Litecoins, we can see that price performance is really decoupling. And in fact, as you move from higher mid caps to your lower mid caps, they are even outperforming even further down. And this is again one of the indicators of more risk on behavior, particularly within crypto, where money flows from Bitcoin into altcoins in search for that higher alpha. And what we can see confirming this to us is again this breakdown of Bitcoin dominance from the symmetrical triangle we've been trading in. And again, we are expecting further downside all the way potentially to 62. And while this may not seem significant, 3% of Bitcoin's market cap represents a massive percentage of certain altcoins, especially if it's flowing predominantly into your mid and mid-low cap altcoins. So that really accounts for some of these massive moves that we're seeing. So that is about it, guys. Keep an eye on the group because we have a few imminent trades that we're going to place and a few trades we're waiting for confirmation on. But we have enjoyed a nice 25% trade and 108% trade this month. So that will be it for us today, guys. I hope you have a wonderful day.